Hey.
Welcome to what's the name of our show? Trick Roll. I am your super professional dungeon master and producer, Andy. One day, I am going to be able to start the show up with zero complications.
Sure. And I will not play a character who isn't min-maxed.
The fun thing about the min-max characters is the mins.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Anyway, hi, my name is Andy. How are you doing today? Good. Let's just introduce the rest of the cast because I don't think I should talk anymore.
Oh, I'll start this off then. Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm Kyle. I go by Flint Uwood 756 on Twitch and on Twitter. I've currently taken a bit of a break from broadcasting for pretty much trying to get my health back together. Nearly about to do that actually. And tonight I'll be playing Joseph Lucerno, who is our Soul Knife rogue who randomly gets lost or just puts together weird shit that then has to be solved by our dear king. Speaking of our king.
Oh, that's my toss. Thank you. I am Jesse Crump, also known as Crump 4. I am playing the Ravenite Dragonborn known as Gileth Ator, but currently is still reigning as King Gileth Ator. At the current moment, the ways of kingship is under basically a contest, yeah, I guess. And we're just the king is currently awaiting who is the rightful owner of the new throne. And then acquire more thoughts on what to do afterwards will come later. Anyway, next.
Hi, I'm Ashes, possibly the most beariest of non-bears. Today I will be playing Vivi, the man who believes he sees all. And that, the previous one, was a lot funnier in my head.
Most of them are, but
You're not wrong.
we tolerate you anyway because
and I tolerate you.
I mean, ever since you invited yourself onto the show full time, I haven't had the heart to tell you that you're just a recurring guest star. No. I guess after this many, you are a regular.
And you're a recurring nightmare.
Thank you.
That's me.
So after the events of the town of Otterly, which had apparently become the home to a false Hydra, a creature that was capable of removing the memory of anyone it ate and itself, but apparently had been upgraded to just wipe out memory in the entire town. But you slayed the beast. Some of you taking exception to the fact that apparently the mayor had abandoned the city when his alchemical research uncovered the creature, and he just left everybody there. Or maybe he was eaten, but burned some papers along the way. We don't know. Except Vivi, using his contacts, thinks he might have heard a rumor about someone fitting that description in the former capital. I say former capital because, like 10-ish years ago, the king died, had no heir. The town got basically picked up by a council, and that sort of led to some political instability. Nothing that ever concerned you guys. Except for right now, the local mages college is putting out some calls for some adventurers to help. And, maybe you decided you wanted to go and see what the jobs they had to offer were. They had a few. There's always information about where they might find clans of goblins, kobolds, packs of smaller monsters. But they've also got some requests up for adventurers that would be willing to spar with their students. So you have made your way to the city that is currently known as Sanguineport. It's a big city. It even rivals Iron Rook, I would say.
Kind of looking at Jylith, do we have to go to the Mages College to get these jobs, or can we just do them and then collect from a proxy?
I understood half that sentence. Ooh, on reverb on. Sorry. You know that reverb comes out of nowhere.
It's really supposed to be used when you're giving speeches before a battle. What the heck?
Listen, I don't control the shadows. The shadows like to come out once in a while and mess with me. Or is it the Fae? I get those mixed up too.
Don't mention the Fae.
I don't really want to go into the Mages College because the last time I was there, I got kicked out, and I was only a freshman.
Why?
Well, maybe you should have learned that crime is not on the syllabus.
I had to pay my tuition anyway. Any way I could. I mean, talk about extortionate fees. They might as well be racketeering.
In all fairness, illusion magic is basically forgery.
Exactly, but also at the same time, have you seen the interest rates on the student loans they give you? You pay them off for the next 50 years at the same time. That's why mages always have such weird crap around them. They can't actually afford to buy anything right.
But and let's not get into the material costs of being a mage. Reason why I haven't studied wizardry. I like my gold where it is.
Yeah, that and plus, you come in, you start speaking, hey, the mind is a powerful tool. And they're like, yeah, we need all these books. And I'm like, no, it's literally a powerful tool. And then I killed the instructor by accident. So
By accident?
This is why I avoided going out to college altogether.
I've studied in my conclave, so technically I went to Ranger College.
I joined the army.
So trade school and trade school and military bursary.
Yes, there we go. I imagine this is the conversation as we're on the carriage that is carrying us with Donkey Kongs in the front.
I was going to ask if you picked a different carriage this time.
I imagine it since worked so well, we wouldn't dare try anything else.
In that case, as you're rolling through, everybody's giving you a wide berth.
Of course.
Joseph, I want you to give me a history check.
This is where because I opened my big mouth.
You started this whole
Yeah.
spiel. Don't even.
I got an 8.
What is your recollection of when you accidentally killed your instructor?
I was demonstrating during the sparring, and I kind of used a telekinetic knife that hit him directly square in the forehead.
Was this
Okay.
a wizard's duel?
How long ago was that?
Let's see.
Just rough, like a couple decades, 5 years, what?
About 15 years ago. Joseph's 32, so he was about 17 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm sure no one will remember.
BB side of it.
When you make up lore on the spot. Careful, kids. I don't contradict. I wrap it into the world.
I needed something to explain how Joseph makes his magic work to a certain extent and how he knows so much.
He just remembers that teacher and just lets loose. It's the only way it works.
I mean, if you don't want to go to the college, the mage school, yeah, I'm sure you can find some other work in town. They're
I
just
want to
paying the best because all the rich kids go there.
I want to go to the Wizard because they, as they said, they pay the best.
Fine, I'll go with you to the Wizards, but just don't mention my name or point me out to anybody.
Sure,
No,
of course.
I
Josh.
just imagine just not in lore, but I imagine Joseph's right outside the window. Behold, it is I, King Joy, along with Joseph and Phoebe.
I want you to give me a performance check.
Sure. Sweet.
I'm gonna help.
No, you're not. I decline your help. 12 is the answer.
With a 12, most of the adults are basically, trying to. Okay, you know how when there are street performers, or more exactly, people just making loud proclamations on the street, usually televangelist style.
Yes.
The adults are treating you like that. They're trying to avert their eyes. The kids are like, look, Mom, it's a king. Like, yes. Just turn away. We don't need to get involved. But you roll up to where the college is. There's a few other people who are, there taking some various jobs. They basically got like a window up front where you can go and tell them what it is you're looking for. So you got the board person's like sitting there like, are you here for admittance or are you seeking employment?
Oh God, his voice hasn't changed. Oh.
That was borderline going, yes. His voice has not changed.
We're here for work.
Are you reporting a goblin clan or are you here for the sparring?
The sparring, I believe. Sparring, right?
If you
guys?
know of any other low-ranking creatures that we can send students out to kill, that would also be acceptable. There are varying rates depending, and if you wish to go as additional protection, that also carries a different fee.
Guys, what do you think?
Looking at Giles.
Big old
But
dragonborn
sparring
smile
is
on his
probably
face.
one of the most profitable because you can start with low-ranking matches, and if you survive, you can earn quite a bit by going up against our higher-ranking students.
I made fun of my nice opponent here. Just keep it cool, guys.
I mean, we either go out and search for help, search for low-ranking monsters, or we conk some wizards in the head.
Oh. You guys are gonna be the ones that want to unzip the vest and say, "Let's be bad guys." So let's go beat the snot out of some students.
Reminds me of my college days.
So you are taking the job of sparring, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. They will. Someone will come out and show you to a preparation room, and they will begin to explain the process. Yes, after we've made some recent changes here in the past 6 months, so we are now introducing a policy where we allow strong adventurers to come and spar against our students. There are some guidelines, of course. We do have clerics who are on hand to help resurrect students should something happen, but we ask that you please try not to murder the students. There's no actual penalty towards you. We simply charge them for the cost of the resurrection, but all the same, it makes them a little apprehensive if you keep cutting them down.
He pulls out his staff, like, it's Big Bat, don't worry, no murder here.
The way it works is we have them in class categories. So we will offer you 10 gold for sparring our newest students, but that price can go up exponentially. If you are willing to take on some of our stronger students, the fee could go as high as 1,000 gold per person.
How much?
Or 1,000 gold. But those are our highest ranking students who have paid a premium for rushed classes, so to speak.
Ah, so Daddy's little princess.
No, we just give them more fodder to work with. Let them build up experience more quickly than if they were studying.
Very well.
Like I say, it's a new policy, but it's been working very well.
Let's test the water with the lowest ranking ones. I'm assuming we can build our way up.
Yes, if you survive, you are welcome to continue trying until you have sustained enough damage that you feel like it is a risk to you, or you have made enough money.
Oh, no one's made it. No one ever makes enough money.
Gylith, I take it you're wanting to take on their students who are studying to be battle mages, yes?
Oh, well, everyone battles. I mean, what do you...
Please.
We are trying to teach them magic. Of course, they have to fight.
Yes. Well, there is a difference between a mage who battles and a battle mage, if I remember correctly. It's
That's more of a job title afterwards, but if we want them to learn magic properly, they have to murder things.
I guess this has changed from your regular lines of syllabuses, right?
It has been updated with our new headmaster. It's some very radical ideas, but I must say that the murder method has truly been shown a great improvement in how quickly our students are progressing, and it means that there has been many students who, if they can come up with the money, are able to advance quickly, because this is not a cheap process. Unless, of
New
course, we can
headmaster?
find a clan of goblins and we just send out the students to slaughter them.
new headmaster? What happened to the old headmaster?
Well, he died.
Natural causes,
Natural?
I'm assuming.
Yes, he was 307.
That's plenty, right? That's pretty young. He's pretty
Not
young.
for a kobold.
Oh.
Jarlath is just on the ground, and then it's just like Joseph learned from a kobold.
Vivi's hiding behind his mask, but you can actually see the smile. You can probably sense the smile as big as the one on his mask.
All right, you two little smug shits. Let's get you into the goddamn arena already.
Hooray!
If you are interested in the history, this gentleman will continue to talk while you are being led to the arena.
That was like gonna be during the arena. It was like
Actually-
it was founded in 1874.
He was willing to talk about Headmaster Smuggins, who practiced a very different form of study. He believed that through careful practice and study was the best way. And granted, it did give him extended life for quite a while, but with his passing, the new headmaster decided to take a more aggressive approach.
What school of magic did Headmaster Smuggins study?
He studied all of the schools.
Georgia Tech.
He was quite fond of botany.
He did have a lovely buttercup collection.
For a kobold living that long, I would assume that necromancy was something he was interested in.
No, not really. He did dabble in everything. I mean, with 300 years, he had time to read a great many books. But anyway, we will be bringing in some students shortly. would you like to battle in a group or one at a time? Both are acceptable, but it will change the parameter slightly.
You want to go one-on-one? Start off with?
Yeah, sure.
Do it.
Okay.
You
Who's going to go
fix it.
first?
Jylith, you're up.
Yes.
Okay. Several different people are on the other side. You can hear their teachers like, the best way to learn magic is not through reading books or practicing your spells. It is murder. Shedding blood will gain you more experience than anything else. And today you will be given a chance to shed blood. We are all out of prisoners. We are all out of goblins. We are all out of were-rats. So today we are trying a new approach and bringing in adventurers who are willing to battle you. And Jylith, what kind of cash payout are you looking for in your first battle?
Well, as much as I want to go for high value, let's start low. Let's start the bar low. See what the underlings are capable of.
Okay, so you want to take it easy the first time, so to speak.
Yeah, start low.
Okay, they will bring out a young man, probably a first-year student.
Mhm.
So he's about 13 years old, but he's kind of nervous. Like, okay, Timmy, get out there and put a hole in this man. Timmy kind of comes out. He raises his wand. Let the battle commence. Roll initiative.
Jylith got a 19.
Timmy got a 20.
Nice. Good on him.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was initiative. That was intelligence. That makes a lot more sense. He got a 17.
Still pretty impressive for a wizard.
I mean, INT. We use it for initiative and intelligence.
Yeah,
Andy apparently does not have an intelligence bonus today.
there we go.
He got a 17, so he's just too nervous to start. Jylith, how do you kick things off?
I will start with start with a simple hand axe throw.
Okay. Roll the throw.
You got it. All right. That'll be only an 11 on that throw.
11. That just misses. Timmy dodges out of the way, just like you cut his hair on one side. It was that close. He got a bald streak now.
Cool. Second hand axe.
I forgot you had two.
That one's just tiny bit better. 12.
12 just hits.
Oh my
So
god.
he dodges one way, gets shaved. He's like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And then the other
I
way
have you in
slams
my
into him.
sights.
Roll damage.
That's tense. The max on the D6. So that's 10 slashing damage right
10
there.
slashing. Okay. All right. So this one, it sort of like hits him in the arm.
Mhm.
There's some blood, but he's not down. He whips his wand forward, and he's going to cast. Let me see. You need to make a save. You need to make a wisdom save for me, please.
Oh, I'm an expert at those.
Yeah.
All right, that is a 13 on the wisdom save.
13. You just barely fail this. As you feel your body freeze up and you are being held by hold person. So, and I believe that means at the end of each turn you get to make another save. So go ahead and make your new save. Yeah, you have to unlock. I know that song.
6.
6. He is going to begin to fire magic missiles at you.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, how many is it?
3.
All right, 3. Okay, so you get hit for 8 force damage.
Yep.
And Yeah, since it's a one-on-one, you get to make your save again.
5.
He's going to use more magic missiles because that's easy for him. All right, that will be. I keep forgetting what the modifier is. That will be
plus 1 for each
8
ball.
force damage.
There we go.
It's D4 plus 1.
And make your save.
15.
15. You break out of it this time.
Cool. Trident.
That was the end of your turn. So
Trident.
before you can throw your trident, more magic missiles.
It's about to go.
This time it's only 6 damage. As he's getting cocky now. He's just like
Yeah.
magic missile,
Yes,
magic missile, magic missile.
That's why
Is that a trident?
That's why I think it's just so funny. As the Moni breaks free.
Yeah.
So Trident is being thrown. I'd like to thank my energy for this crit. 19 on the die. Beautiful, beautiful energy focus. Green growl in hand.
Gileth, roll that beautiful crit damage because this was the perfect opportunity for it.
Unleash your inner beast.
It's like I don't plan for this. It just happens, I swear.
Nope, it was perfect timing.
All right, that's 12 piercing.
That was exactly what he had left. Gileth, describe your critical hit.
The way I see it, it's just like, since I imagine the student is just getting cocky, so he's just where the way his body position is no longer, it's just more just upright
Yeah.
and confident. So when Giant lets loose, it's just dead center where it needs to hit. Like, since like before he's like dodging and trying to maneuver, but now
Yeah.
just
Yeah. So he's over here like magic missile. I got this. Magic missile. Oh, Flump, that's a trident. Oh, Flump, that's a trident.
Exactly.
And he falls over. Major clerics, please see to him. And Gileth, someone will present you with 100 gold.
Hey.
You can just let that be a running tally because if you die, they're just going to take it all back.
Yeah.
But they're telling the other students, like, this is why you must not hold back. You cannot think that you will be able to win with your lowest ranking spell. Had he been upcasting that spell, he could have done much more damage, and maybe he would have not been having to go to remedial classes after he's revived. Gileth, do you want to give someone else a turn, or do you want to keep fighting?
I will respectfully collect my stuff and take a seat.
Okay.
just pick the trident in the hand and
Yeah.
hand axe of the child, and then like find the one stray.
Joe?
Oh, you first. I mean,
Sure. Sure. Vivi flicks his big bat and casts Shillelagh as he walks forward.
Okay. What kind of cash payout are you looking for?
I think I'll test the waters as well.
Okay, so you're going to go up against another lower ranking student. Okay. They are a little bit more nervous, but they sent out another teenager. And Vivi, roll initiative for me.
And the crowd goes wild.
Not 20, so 23.
Okay, this one was particularly nervous, and he only rolled a 2 on the die. So he had a 3. So-
Vivi, as he does his bows and goes, I look forward to a fun match.
He's still like fumbling with his spell book, trying to figure out what he's going to do. It is your turn.
He's going to just walk up, spin around, conk him in the head.
Okay, roll the attack.
$17.
17 hits.
Total of 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, you clonk him on the head very hard. He's seeing stars. Do you have anything else this turn?
I unfortunately can't use the help action on myself.
Sorry.
I unfortunately can't use the help action on myself.
Okay. So
So
You could ask the one fan in the distance. They say no.
all right. In that case, the student is going to let's see, if you're this close to him, he's going to need to cast a different spell. One quick, because this is the problem of trying to do this type of thing. I have to read everything because everybody's got a different spell.
It's just like trying to take a test without any kind of studying. It's just like, all right, gosh, that question is really hard. How do you do on the backside of the page? There was a backside? Sorry for our audience if I brought back any bad memories of school.
Vivi, what is your total health?
my total health.
Yes.
My total health is 75.
75. Then when he casts the sleep spell on you, it does nothing to you. And it is your turn again.
He looks down, smile, like well, he doesn't smile. You just see this big grin from his mask.
Yeah.
To say, how much have we able to see the smile behind the mask?
Yeah. And he conks again.
Okay.
But 16?
Yep, 16 hits. You don't even need to roll damage because he only had 2 left.
Yeah, I rolled 9 damage total.
Okay. Because this one wasn't a crit, you just bonk him on the head and he just passes right out.
I was gonna strip him up and then conk him in the clavicle.
So he is down. They are hauling him aside. It won't cost nearly as much to wake him up. He just needs to be, they just bandage up his head and he will get remedial lessons. Because he was an even weaker student, you will receive a lower payout. I promise I'm randomizing who you go up against. You will get 50 gold for that.
Okay. I'll look at the kid, bow again, and walk away.
Joseph?
I will come forward and motion towards the proctor, and then look across the group and go, I will go for a mid-range student.
Okay. Good, because all the lower end students were definitely trying to hide behind everybody, trying not to be seen. But you are willing to take on a stronger student. So an older teenager, probably about 17, 18 range, steps out. He's got the cocky swagger. Roll your initiative.
23.
He's telling me this is just a
Okay,
past
you go
Joseph
first.
being
I'm
projected.
not even gonna do the math. You just go first.
Just like I wanted
Yeah.
this to be like a past Joseph being projected, and it's just like he must fight yourself.
Wait until you see what spells. I will tell you what his school was later.
I'm going to charge forward, and I'm just going to pull out my rapier and stab him with a 16.
16 just beats his mage armor. There's a little bit of resistance, but you go straight through it.
So that is 6 piercing damage, and then I follow it up with a second rapier strike from the other one, which misses.
Oh,
So he's now he's just been stabbed in the gut with one rapier, and then there's just this rogue just still looking at him like, you came in.
Yep. And I want you to make a wisdom save for me.
Are you good at those like I am?
18.
Oh, then yes, you are.
All right. So you feel the mental pressure as his eyes kind of spark with a little bit of power as he says kneel, and you don't. So he's a
No,
little bit
you
confused
stab.
by that.
He's full
I'm-
enchantment.
And you
I'm-
may
Oh God. Okay, so with a roll with a 14 plus 6, I get a 20, and that's just the hilt of the rapier coming straight into his mouth.
okay, roll damage.
I imagine probably a mid kneel. Kneel.
That's another 6 damage to him.
Okay. He is
And then
quite a
it-
bit tougher, and this is
And then that's followed up with the second rapier, which is a 22.
22 hits.
Yep, with 9 piercing damage. So it's like punches him with the hilt in the mouth and then stabs him in the gut with the other.
Oh yeah. That's actually a good combination. Let me just take one quick look. Okay. Well, he is. I'm using his actual spell list, which is not heavy on the offensive. So he's actually going to have to take his own dagger out and swing at you. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
That actually just hits.
Wow.
All right, so he comes up with his dagger. He brings it right into a weak point, like the joint of your armor, with 6 piercing damage of his own. And he doesn't have anything he can do as a bonus action. So, yep, it is your turn.
It's once again rapier hilt to the.
You
to
got
the
something weird
mouth
on
with
your
an-
voice. Did
got,
you turn
you
an
got
effect
voice
on?
mat on?
Ah, darn it! I have.
Number pad going.
Ah, yeah. Where did that dagger land again? Apparently you lost it.
I was going to say I thought he was going for he was trying to go for the neck, but then he kind of flinched and basically he hit him in the neck with the pommel and brought out a much deeper voice.
I was about to say, where did he hit it? Like, bam.
Okay, what am I gonna do next?
So, Joseph, what was your follow up to being stabbed or
Once
punched
again,
in
just
the throat?
once again, just hitting him once again in the mouth with the hilt of the rapier.
Okay.
Just like the hand basket just going
Yeah.
straight into his face. And then that hits with an 18.
18 hits.
And let me see the damage on this. That is 11 damage.
Okay, that one he definitely noticed a bit more.
And I'm going to follow up with a 13 on the second rapier strike. It's just pretty much like, yeah, you're a control mage. I am like right up in your grill.
Yeah, so you punch him in the face and you go for another stab. He managed to recover, and he's going to cast another spell, and I need to pull up a dice roller to make this easier on me. So, this is just a lesson for if you're ever playing random mage battle. You can't do your homework with this many dice. You just have to come better prepared than Andy does. So let me pull up the correct number of dice. And what is your total health right now?
My total health is 55.
Okay, so you feel the wave of magic come over you, but the sleep spell is completely ineffectual. It is your turn.
I'm just going to I'm going to keep hitting him in the mouth with the hilt of this thing until a
Okay,
tooth
just-
breaks. I'm just pretty much like, stop using vocal spells. Stop using vocal spells.
This will be an important lesson for him.
19
19 hits.
for 8 damage.
Okay.
So it's literally just literally going, stop using invoke all spells, and now I'm going to stab one of his hands because with a nat 1.
Okay. As I like to do this, I still like Satine's method. How do you manage to hurt yourself?
I try to bring it up to stab him in the hand, and I end up cutting my foot.
Roll damage against yourself, please.
Wow, I did 8 damage to myself.
Yeah, you managed to nick something important there. But now he's emboldened by this. He is going to attempt to stab you, and he's just not. I'm not even gonna ask you what you know. It was so bad.
I'm going to
Joseph, it's your turn again.
I'm going to stab his hands now with an
Okay.
18.
Yeah, 18 hits.
Your enemy cannot push the button if he does not have a hand.
Roll damage and see if you can accomplish this.
10.
10. So because of where
damage.
his health was, I should have said that stabbing the hand was a slightly higher target, but this is too funny. He goes down to stab. You just drive the rapier straight through the forearm into the ground. He's beaten. He's almost unconscious with pain, but I'm going to say because you're trying to teach him a lesson, he's bleeding from the face. His arm is pinned to the ground quite physically. Joseph, what do you want to say to him?
Non-somatic and gesture spells are much more versatile in a combat situation than waving your hands around and making yourself an open target. And I will step on the joint of his elbow, and then I'll pull the rapier out, unpinning him, and then I'll just walk away. And use a sword, not a dagger. You have swords available to you. You are not just learn a sword.
You just trounced the mind mage, who was admittedly not a great. He's not a combat person unless his dominate managed to make you. That was his only card. He's gonna have you make yourself defenseless and then slit your throat. But that did not work. Joseph, you will get 300 gold for that one. Honestly, guys, if y'all want to keep this up, there's a whole bunch of students, and you can keep trying.
I'm up for another round. How about you, Jyleth?
Okay, I don't. We don't even need to ask what Jyleth do we?
You rested up. You rested up.
What kind of payout are you looking for, Jyleth?
Let's go high.
Okay, when you say high, do you want to take on one of the highest ranking people, or you just want more money? Okay,
high. The moment's like, how high do you want? Higher. No, exactly how higher.
Okay, Jyleth, you will take on their teacher. It's like, I will show you how this is done. He steps
as I'm walking out of the arena, I'll just whisper to Jyleth as he starts walking in, go for his knees. They're very weak. He's very old.
Do as I please. Got it.
Or you could go really high, and you see the headmaster is stepped out. You can't take on the headmaster.
Not that high. Not
that high.
Okay. we're not just skipping right at the end of the tournament bracket just now.
I was just noticing that the person I picked was probably a little too much.
Okay, let's go.
But I still have someone who is very good for this. Jyleth, roll initiative.
Gladly. 15.
21. He
right.
is going to kick things off. You need to make a dexterity save as he throws a lightning bolt at you.
You okay? All right, we're looking at a 7 on that dex save.
Okay, that's definitely going to fail.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me roll a lot of dice for damage. You are going to take, not bad, only 17 points of lightning damage.
You okay?
And yeah, there's yeah, I did that right. Okay. Yeah, 17 points as lightning just courses through you. And he says, you need to put them out as quickly as possible. He's stopping to give instructions while he blasts you, Gilith.
While he's doing that, Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
And with that, we're going with SOS in hand.
Okay. Charge him.
Oh, so close to 19. 25 to hit.
25 hits.
And we're looking at 19 slashing.
19. Ooh. That hit him hard, I will admit.
Mm-hmm.
And
second swing.
okay.
Oh, it's teetered on the one, and thankfully not. 17, 24 to hit.
All right. 17. That manages to beat his mage armor.
All right. Only a 9. And that last, and I forgot to say, then that damage I cashed in my last trick roll.
Oh.
Forgot to mention that. I realized
Okay.
19. It's like I didn't say I was using trick roll.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
That's everything I got.
Okay. So yeah, you've definitely cut him pretty bad, starting to make him look kind of bad in front of his students. He is going to cast Misty Step, so he's out of melee range, and
of
he
course.
is going to throw another lightning bolt at you. So make that dex save one more time.
13.
Okay, 13 did not beat the DC.
Uh-huh.
I might have rolled too few last time, but it was a lot of ones anyway. This time, that lightning bolt is going to strike you for 27 points of damage.
Okay.
And with Misty Step, yeah, he's 30 feet away, so you can run back at him if you so choose. And I apparently have a package being delivered at this exact moment as I can hear the beeping.
All right, let's see. I definitely want to action surge, but what do I want to use the surge for other than just more swings? Well, the smart. Or should I? Or should I try to do minor healing?
Minor healing always works.
All right, second wind. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, rolling 1d10. 1 plus 6 equals 7. Yeah, thanks, game. That's what I should have used the trick roll on. Maybe freaking increase the freaking second wins for a change.
That would have helped you so much more.
Quick, someone quick buy some more energy so I can reroll.
And you know, actually trick rolls can be bought through our Ko-Fi account. You know, just saying, we could
Okay.
use a batch. Don't worry, I think we'll have some next time because I will be having you know, some of our accounts sort of pay off at the end of the month. And that's the other way I calculate our trick rolls. Those are the pool. You can buy them individually. I ask that you buy them from me because I need it. I'm outnumbered here. But what is your action this time? Or what's the action surge? The second wind, I mean.
Yeah, so that I used my bonus action for the second wind,
Okay.
and for main actions, we're gonna charge in, do 2 swings with
Okay.
SOS in hand.
Okay.
And it's only a 13 on that first swing.
13, it bounces off of his mage armor.
All right, second swing, that's a 24 to hit.
24. All right, let me just check something because nope. Yep, you hit him solidly with that.
Okay, rolling a damage. Okay, with Hunter's Mark, that's 21.
21. You cut him badly. I mean, he he was out here trying to be all proud and show his students how this is done, and you are wailing on him far more than I thought you would. I get he's a mage, but still, he's not playing around anymore.
Nope. Of course not.
He is going to attempt something really dangerous. In fact, I got like one of those flipping coins here because he only has a 50-50 chance of pulling this off. His eyes darken as the whole, like first his eyes turn solid black. Then it seems like the sun is blocked out as he summons a shadow demon.
Is this the Shadowfell trust testing me?
Gyleth, this just pulling up from the shadow between you two is this large winged horns, claws. If you imagine it from your nightmare, well, your nightmares are unicorns. If you picture a normal person's nightmare, it's just come to face you as this man is bleeding out, and is going to use a bonus action to Misty step further away from you.
Like fudge.
We're going to just put the shadow demon at the end of initiative, which unfortunately means it goes right now.
Yes, because that would make sense.
Yeah. So it's going to attack you.
Of course.
I'm just checking how many attacks it gets, so you're not in too much trouble, except that it just hit with a 21.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I have to do some. 23 with shield activated is my AC.
Okay. So it swipes down and you just throw up a shield right quick. The students are very impressed by this, but it is now your turn.
And it's like the blue guy has magic too. We must learn from him. And just meanwhile, Giant's like, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Okay. What is the impressive thing you were going to do for these students now?
I'm gonna go invisible.
Okay.
So it is where it's like the shadow comes through, and you see the ward, and just tries to quickly just waves a hand, and just shadows consume him, and gone.
All right. You're invisible now. What else do you want to do?
I'm gonna find my closest Joseph. And just be like, hey buddy, from a range from 1 to 72, I'm on a 13 right now. What do you got to read on this guy?
You kill the teacher, the shadow demon gets unsummoned because he's controlled by the teacher.
Okay, thanks for the Wizard Basics 101. What else?
Dude, I didn't get to summoning 103. I only got to summoning 101, and even then I didn't really pay much attention because the teacher's robes were quite tight-fitting. So I don't know.
I am now going to put this free talk is normally a free action, but you're kind of pushing it a little bit. You're on a timer.
That's the thing, like where Joseph's continue talking, but he doesn't know it. Joseph's have already excused him. So he is gonna go to the teacher and he's gonna try and grapple.
Okay. I'm going to say that you've had to use a lot of movement, but you're invisible, so we're gonna go with it. You want to grapple the teacher.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and make that attempt.
Gladly. All right, we're looking at a 22 total.
Yeah, you grab the teacher. He's not even going to be able to fight you off. So you become visible. How are you grappling him?
So it's one of those things. Basically, when I go to grab him, I have the blunderbuss in hand, so it's just like one arm across and blunderbuss in the back, and it's just that moment. I will gladly pull this trigger if you don't call off the demon right now. I am for player knowledge. I'm bluffing.
Thunder bluffing.
I will.
Blunder
I
bluffing.
will.
Yes.
That was good. If we did inspiration in this game, I would have given you inspiration for that. But I was going to give Gilith advantage on his bluff. So this will
Yeah.
You've inspired Gilith for his bluff right now.
Yeah. All right, that's a dirty 20 on that bluff.
20. Okay. He is not going to say anything as he uses his last second level spell slot to Misty Step out of your grip. So he's now 30 feet away, and he is going to cast Fly on himself with his last third level spot and shoot up into the air. Now it is the Shadow Demon's turn, who sees you
Of
and
course.
is going to move in your direction. And yeah, he would have enough room for that. But he's not rolling fantastic. That is a 17 to hit.
17 does not hit.
Okay, so he swings at you, but he just clinks off your armor.
Cool.
And now the bleeding, very tattered looking teacher is in the air. Students, you must remember to never underestimate your opponent. Put them down with all force necessary.
All right. On
As he's
Gilith,
glaring at you now from 30 feet in the air.
while he's doing that, I'm gonna Misty Step up to him, and like, he's just gonna see swing come for him.
Oh, crap. I forgot you could do that. I love it. Yes.
And it's like, while you do this,
Gilith, make that surprise attack. I'm giving you advantage on this attack
Yes.
also, because he didn't see it coming.
Come on. Okay, that is a dirty 20 on that swing.
Yeah, that hits. Gilith, I'm going to be honest with you. He was in the single digits. I don't feel you rolling damage is necessary. Tell us how this looks.
I imagine like mid-speech, you just like you say when it's like you must learn the ways of your opponent. And it's just like brings the sword down and like along since Gilith can't fly, he brings down the instructor down with the sword. Bang. Whatever students don't get out of the way is not his responsibility as he's bringing it down into the crowd.
Yeah, that seems about accurate. With the teacher falling unconscious, the shadow demon is dismissed. I'm just checking on something. Does anybody remember? Oh, here it is. Falling rules.
No, I skipped that class. I'm sorry.
Gilith, we give you a lot of leeway with reality, but gravity is going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I had that. Freaking sight of heal. Because that would have brought me down.
Yeah,
because I was down to 6.
I thought it was, but Gilith, you stab the teacher, you fall, you take that superhero landing, you internally like, oh, that was so bad on my knees.
Yeah. Joseph was right about the knees. Joseph was right about the knees.
But Gilith, I'll give you an option here. You can, if you so choose, you can make a performance check to impress everyone.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely catching that in.
Okay.
It's only a 5, so I imagine he just in his head, he just wants like the dust settles. He stands up proudly and be like, "And my name is Jarlathor. Learn from me if you wish to learn the ways of the warrior." But he gets like maybe like a foot until then he goes, "Oh!" It is where it's like he feels like he broke his knees, so it's like where he can't fully extend his legs.
Yeah.
So it comes up.
Yeah. So Giles, several things pop that were not meant to pop. But at the same time, it is hushed. Like the students are the awake students, the living students are wide-eyed as this sword mage just decimated their teacher. Granted, you are beat all the hell yourself. That doesn't matter. You're the one standing.
The headmaster SOS is a cane right now.
Yeah. The headmaster is going to please retrieve our illustrious professor. We can still just dock his pay for this resurrection. That was very impressive. You have, and I want to say this guy is older looking, nothing too old, but what probably the most distinguishing thing is that his eyes are just blood red.
Like he hasn't slept.
No, like his eyes are filled with blood.
Oh, even worse.
Not bloodshot. The sclera, everything is just. In fact, if you look close, it even looks like it's flowing.
Do I remember this guy?
I will let you make another history check.
Oh God.
It's the one you murdered so many years ago.
I got a 6.
6? No. You never really got that high up anyway, so you never had chance to meet the assistant principal, basically. Vivi, you can make me a history check for no good reason.
Sure. This is actually not one of his strong suits. For a total of 11.
11?
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. I mean, it's odd, but it's nothing that's triggering your memory. Gileth, for that performance, how much did what was the most I've given you guys? 100 gold so far?
Yeah, that was 100 gold from the last match.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a 600 gold payout.
300.
Okay, I would still say that feels like we'll make it 700 gold.
All right,
that was a 700 gold payoff. That was very entertaining. You have definitely combined both magic and physical traits quite impressively. He turns to the students. You must remember that while taking another's life is the quickest way to progress, you must still remember that those with physical skills will employ them against you. While you have been perfecting your minds, your magics, they have been perfecting their bodies. And in this case, he has done a great combination of the two. This is why it is important to remember your defenses. And we'll turn. Would you care to aid in their advancement anymore?
Sure.
Okay. What payout are you looking for?
Vivi's not an illusion that he's a greater fighter as Gileth. I'll go. This may be a little let down considering the last fight, but I'll go for a moderate payout.
Okay. We will.
It is my what payout are you looking for? Health insurance. Okay, help me out right now.
And Vivi's smile pat Gileth on the back as he walks by and casts Cure Wounds.
Okay. I'm just checking what this individual can do. This will be
Fate healing.
okay. All right. So the headmaster brings out a new student. Vivi, roll initiative for me.
Sure. A 19.
Okay. He got a 21.
Okay.
So this person is going to walk out and he is going to kick things off by casting a spell on himself as he doubles in size.
VV smiles. Oh, that's cute. Large reduce.
And it is now your turn.
Vivi is going to walk by, clicking his fingers, casting Hunter's Mark,
Okay.
and walk in and just spin and try to conk.
Okay. It's going to be a hard conk, obviously, because he's bigger, but go right ahead.
For a 25?
Yeah, 25. He's just a bigger target.
For a total of 14 damage, and I believe that's a concentration check on his part.
Okay. I will check on that. All right. So 14 damage. Let me get the math done first. And okay, he is going to keep his concentration as he lashes out with basically like I'm trying to see how it describes this attack.
As I hadn't actually finished my turn,
Oh, sorry, go right ahead.
I'm going to bonus action disengage and move back 30 feet.
How far back?
30 feet.
Okay. That won't be a problem because he's going to use a ranged attack as he lashes out with you with energy just coming straight out of his hands. And does a 24 hit?
Yes, it hits.
Okay. I hate asking that question, but I got to check with you guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be, oh yeah, I got to add a D4. So not a great one. You are going to take 6 points of force damage. And he is also going to apply another ability to that. You take an additional 10 points of force damage. And oh, he gets multiple attacks. He gets to do that again. That time it will be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Let me just roll all the dice at once because he can apply this to different people. So, all right, that's Eep. 10. That would be 16 points of force damage this time. And it is now your turn.
Okay. Vivi just takes a knee because he's just hit quite hard.
Yeah.
Looks up and goes, "No, bad kid." And he clicks his finger and he basically clicks his fingers and goes invisible.
Okay.
And he's then gonna hide.
Okay. Yeah, that's go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage for being invisible.
Okay. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
Okay, that's not a problem. You're able to hide around like I imagine the arena sort of set up like a mock battlefield. You're able to hide behind some things. So he's looking around, but he doesn't see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna then my free action. I'm gonna put away my shillelagh and take out my longbow.
Okay. All right. Let me see what he can do real quick. Let's see. Okay, he is going to make basically plants grow all around, and that is going to mean that for every, if you want to move at this point, I'm not going to go with the exact wording. It's going to be considered difficult terrain for you to move from now on.
I'm a ranger. I ignore difficult terrain.
Okay, then we're going to go with the official ruling because this is a magic spell. A creature moving through this area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves.
Okay.
So that we'll modify that because that's gonna we'll just say we'll make that half speed because that's easier than trying to figure out quarter speed. And well, that would be 14 feet, 15 feet. Okay, you move 15 feet per round.
Yeah.
But that's what he does. He's controlling the battlefield. That's his action this time.
Vivi's gonna. Vivi is going to basically take aim and fire a longbow.
Okay. So you suddenly become visible. Fire.
Yeah. I believe that would be with advantage.
Yes, because you're coming, but only this one time. After this, you
Yeah.
will be visible again.
Yeah, I'm what?
Okay. I'm trying to remember for myself. I think out loud.
24.
24 hits.
For a total of 21 damage.
Okay. He is still doing very good.
That's a concentration check as well.
Yes. Okay, and remind me how concentration works. It's half the damage.
It's half damage or 10.
Okay, then he maintains his concentration. And because his attack has a 60-foot range,
and then bonus action, I'm going to hide again.
Okay. This is going to be a little bit more. I mean, yeah, roll your stealth check, and versus his perception.
Okay. Good 13.
13. That is slightly better than his passive perception. So we're going to go with that for ease of me.
Yeah.
That means that his attack will be at disadvantage because he only knows roughly where you're hiding in the plants he grew.
Yeah.
So that is, it was an 8 both times. That's going to be a grand total of 13 to hit.
No, there's no hit.
Okay, so he misses you with that one. It is your turn again.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move 10 feet.
Okay.
Pop up, fire. Because I'm coming out of hidden. I believe I have advantage.
Yes. The one rogue in the group who actually uses his advantage correctly in a battle.
Okay. For 19.
19 to hit. That hits.
Yeah.
Of course, you have less sneak attack damage than Gilet does because of levels.
Yeah. For a total of
That's because Gilet's very good with his sneak attack.
18 damage.
18 damage. Okay, let me do some quick math. That's about right. Okay. And he'll make a concentration.
Yeah.
His concentration is very good.
Yeah.
All right. Bonus action hide.
Yep.
Okay, roll it.
For 17.
17. Okay. Let me double check. All right. You believe you're well hidden at least.
And then I'm gonna move my remaining 5 feet.
Okay. So he is basically paying attention to where you were.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's cocked. Let me try that again. All right. What is your AC? Just out of curiosity.
AC 17.
Okay. Yeah, so he's aiming for where you were, but he's looking where you were, but he aimed right where you were with not a natural 20, a dirty 20.
Yeah.
So hit that wave of force comes out again. He's all right. So that was 11, 13. That'll be 16 points of force damage.
Yep.
As he just like waves his hand and the energy just strikes out at you.
Yep.
All right. And it is your turn.
Okay.
You are not hidden because he hit you.
Okay, so I'm going to just fire regularly
Okay.
for a 15 to hit.
15. No, that went. I'm trying to remember. Yes. 15 just beats his mage armor.
A total of 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. And are you going to try to hide again?
Concentration.
Oh, yes. Okay, and adding this first time I actually had to add his con modifier to it. He just barely keeps it.
And a bonus action hide.
Okay.
Oh god, nat 1.
Oh,
Yeah, you ever watch Red versus Blue?
No.
Okay, basically you think because you can't see him, you must be hidden great.
Yeah, like the whole
out of sight,
peekaboo-
out of mind.
Yep.
the whole peekaboo method.
Exactly. And you're over here like, I can't see him. He can't see me. You're facing a rock. And he rolled really well on his damage this time.
Oh boy.
21 force damage hits you. Are you still up?
Yes.
Okay. It is your
Usually-
turn.
Okay, bonus action hide.
Okay.
No, actually, main action cure wounds myself.
Okay. Roll for your hiding again, please.
Oh, not much better. 8.
Okay. And then you did a cure wounds to yourself, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Just keeping track of everything.
For 7. It's not much better.
Okay. Does a 17 hit you?
Meets the beats.
Okay. So all right. 19 points of force damage lashes out at you.
And VV is down.
Okay. Vivi hits the ground. No one calls anything off because you're unconscious right now.
Yeah.
The student starts to walk towards you.
I'm going to intervene at this point and actually hit him with a psychic blade.
I want you to roll initiative versus someone else that you do not get to know.
12.
12. Let me pull up this person. Because, all right. So what was your attack?
My attack is a 23.
23. You do hit. Roll damage.
That is 4. Do I get my sneak attack damage because this was going? Because
I
this
will
is-
allow the sneak damage because this was not supposed to take place. You guys signed an agreement and you just broke it. So they didn't see it
7.
coming. 7 damage.
So it's 11 in total, but it was 7 for the
Okay.
sneak attack.
So
4 for
you
the-
knock down the student who is unconscious now. But you are now going to be attacked by someone else because you guys just broke the rules. They get to kill you. You're not supposed to interfere in these fights. So I'm going to see what he does to you. Okay, he gets to make a lot of attacks.
I'm waiting for a Mr. Lucerno moment.
No, it's not like Giles, do you want to get in on this?
Oh heck no, not in his current condition.
Okay, just checking.
But thank you for asking. Thank you. I imagine there's probably students like, dude, are you gonna go in there? No.
Does a 15
Ugh.
no, sorry, does a 16 hit you, Joseph?
It meets. It meets.
It meets. Okay. I'm going to keep this fair, but I'm going to like roll the appropriate dice and not just like use average if I can find the dice quick enough, because
Oh, good.
there we go. There's one. Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
See, the problem is D10s and D8s look very, very similar.
Yep.
And Andy not smart is what I'm saying. So
I am so smart. Smart. SMAT. SMAT.
okay,
No, I mean
I gotta do
SMAR.
math now. Quit making me sing songs. I gotta do math. Because
Yes, we
Andy
know
not smart, don't confuse.
We
Andy
found
had too
Andy's
many
true-
things. I am
We
running on a Windows 95 processor in here. If I do too many calculations at once, it will shut down.
I was gonna say we found Andy's true weakness: sing, and he can't help but sing along.
You know, if you do a classic Simpsons quote, I will stop everything and join in. I love classic Simpsons.
All good.
Joseph, you get hit for 27 necrotic damage.
I will use uncanny dodge to have that.
Okay. Basically, this mage, the headmaster, just threw a bolt of blood at you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And now he's going to do it again.
Fuck me.
This time is another 16 to hit.
Yep, that hits. So 27 divided by 2 is
Call it 13.
13.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've been playing a rogue, and I understand their abilities a lot better. They're not as squishy as people think, because abilities like that are really handy. Too bad you can only use it once, and he rolled even higher this time.
Okay.
27 points of necrotic damage. And you cannot regain hit points until the start of his next turn.
I'm just going to lay down my rapiers and just look at him and be like,
Parlay.
He says to you, you have forfeited this agreement. This was a battle to improve our students' experience, and by killing a down foe, they will gain more experience.
I am actually going to use, for once in Joseph's life,
Oh no.
persuasion.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well,
Understand this is going to be a very difficult check.
Hey guys,
I'm
I found
gonna
a copy of Hero Quest. That isn't even
Good, we're going to need
I'm
that after
going
he
to-
slaughters you all.
I'm going to use my last trick roll as well
Okay. Because God knows you need it.
for a 22 to go. But isn't the greatest lesson that any student can learn as a mage the fact that an attack can come from anywhere at any moment?
He
Guys, it's
looks
up for
at
Magic the
you.
Gathering.
He will say to students, he is correct. You should always be on your guard. With that said, Joseph, make a constitution save,
Oh, fuck.
because a 22 was not enough.
Hey guys, I found a copy of Legends of Draxia.
Hey guys, I found a copy of Cyberpunk Red. Anybody-
Make
Oh,
a
look,
con
oh,
save,
look,
please.
Viewers, I found a new character sheet. I'm gonna start writing that up.
Because this ability is a lot of die, I'm just going to go with the average. So, Joseph, your blood begins to boil inside your body as you take 38 necrotic damage, and you are incapacitated until the end of his next turn.
I'm actually dead now, and I can't be brought back because I had 7 points of health left, and he's just done 34 all at once. So it just kind of like drops me, and then, yeah, I'm dead.
No, wait a minute. No, the
No.
rule about instant death is double your maximum.
Okay, no,
So
okay, all right.
you
But
are
I'm still
unconscious. Don't scare me like that. I've been trying to murder you, but I want to do it right.
As I said, when we found the true way to kill a rogue, bring him to school.
Gileth,
Yes.
he just downed your other friend and he turns to you. Do you wish to forfeit to go against your agreement?
No, sir.
Okay. He was like, all right, since our other students are down, I think that they have earned this experience. Please revive them and let them finish off the those who have lost their battles. They basically revive the other two who are going to come for Vivi and Joseph with daggers to slit their throats.
Hey, I didn't technically lose my battle against a student. I lost against the headmaster.
Doesn't matter. He's going to grant it to one of the students.
was
He doesn't
waiting
need
for-
the
I was
experience.
waiting. They just slit the throats. All right, everyone, time for lunch.
Basically, yes, because if you don't stop them, they're going to walk over and stab them each in the heart.
It's just that moment where just like Jarlath
Well-
does not have the manpower to stop them.
No,
So he-
you can't, and that's why I'm giving you. But I'm still going to give you the option because it would be unfair not to.
Nice knowing you guys.
Jarlath will choose to yield.
Okay, Vivi, Joseph, you are dead. And with that, the headmaster does turn to the students. This was an excellent lesson for everyone, I believe. Those of you who lost your battles, even if you were granted some experience for your efforts, you do need to work on your defenses more. Granted, fighting solo combat against melee combatants is not advisable. It is still an excellent learning experience. And he dismisses the students. Gileth, you are given your money, and you are told if you would like to sell the remains of your friends, he'll give you 5,000 for each of them.
In the spirit of Vivi, Vivi would allow. Vivi would do the same to you.
I feel Evie's like spirit on my shoulder. It's like, wow, I'm worth that. How much? Hey.
Oh yes, we can always use their bodies for experimentation in the necromantic
Joseph Spirit is
labs.
like sitting on the
it's
With warriors
Joseph
of
Spirit
this
on your shoulder.
capability,
I
we
would
will get
not-
much better golems than with all those prisoners we executed.
I don't want to be somebody else's gains. I'm not a weight.
it's a moment where just like Joseph.
Joseph is the angel.
It's a moment where it looks
and
at
Vivi
Joseph,
is the
look at
devil.
Vivi, and then it's followed by Giant looks to self, looks at the player behind the screen. It's just like, yeah. It's that moment where it's just like, who's he gonna turn to bring you guys back? He's gonna probably bring you back to maybe Simpkins, maybe, but he doesn't even know where the fudge he is.
You do know that Simpkins lives in the catacombs underneath the city. The headmaster is walking over and takes a special interest in Vivi for some reason. Like,
and it just
and he looks back at you. So, would you prefer the extra coin, or do you wish to pay your respects to their corpses?
As much as the offer is tempting, I'd rather give him a proper burial if you do not mind.
They are yours to do with as you wish, I suppose.
Many thanks. And it is where like Joseph on one shoulder, Vivi on the another. You have a good day now. I'll take
And
our
you
leave
as
now."
well, King.
He takes a humble bow and just shaunt like away his way out.
Okay.
Well, time to rope a new character.
No, this is making me wonder what's happening with the Modron leg, because it's supposed to like heal wounds that I get, and I don't know if it works on.
No,
both.
I said that your wounds would heal back as constructs. I didn't say they would revive you.
Right. So, Andy, can we transition to Giles searching for Simpkins with the corpses.
In a moment.
Because it's just where like that would be like the goal with the
Yes.
corpses.
Okay. I will let you, let's call it a history check for finding Simpkins, because it's been a while since we've met Simpkins.
Good thing I got a pip for that. Natural 20.
Giles has a beautiful mind moment
If-
where he 3D maps the catacombs in his head and is like, oh yes, I remember exactly how to get to that insane lich.
So he starts, he finds his way to the stadium. It's like, oh yes, and then we ran, and then we went this way down
Yeah.
this time. So like
so
you see him just like retract the step like 1 to 1, like where they happened way back in the beginning.
I like to imagine this takes place in the city as Giles just walking with these 2 bleeding corpses through the city, and people are like,
Whoa! Mom, look, it's the king again. Oh shit.
yeah. And because this is like a nonchalant, you clearly know where you're going. Even the guards are so thrown off by this that they do nothing.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, he did come out of the Magus College, so he making a delivery. They
It's
literally
not
have no
delivery.
grounds to stop you. Like, shouldn't we say something? I mean,
DiGiorno.
is this the weirdest thing we've overlooked for noble doing?
He's just like,
I
don't
mean-
worry, I'm a king. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. In fact, give me a perception check there.
Sure. Good thing is I got a pip for that too. Now it's gonna be 14.
14. Yeah. You actually hear the guard starts talking about it. It's like, I mean, ever since Lord Kefka joined the council, it's been getting weirder around here. This isn't technically breaking any laws.
Kafka.
You're dead. You can't hear that.
The archers can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Giles, you are on your way unmolested by anyone. In fact, they're
Yes.
clearing a path for you.
Yeah, there's just a moment of just like,
And while that is going on, Giles and Vivi, you're sitting in a tavern that
Joseph.
you clearly weren't in 5 minutes ago. The color scheme is very washed out. It's everything is toned down quite a bit. You have a mug of whatever you would prefer to drink that no one brought to you.
Vivi looks at Joseph, sighs. Guess we died. Takes off his mask. Drinks his honeydew mead.
Just drinks a small sip of water, and then just looks around. Oh God, we're oh gods, we're not even in a heaven or hell. We're caught in a halfway house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest,
about the sum of it. Gallows is sitting across from you.
I was kind of
Huh.
expecting this ever since I first took on Strahd.
Oh, you can go back to him if you want.
No.
I've always thought it's so curious. You keep saying you want to take the crown of Evalia, but that would just put you closer to him. The Dark Lords know each other.
I thought a higher position of power would be able to take him down in a different way.
No, he would just want to conquer you even more.
Shit,
But
good
I
point.
mean, hey, I don't think any of you have made the smartest decisions. The fact that you're here right now kind of proves that.
my capabilities is understanding my own fault, my own mistakes, not making them again. I never said I
Well,
was smart.
speaking of new mistakes,
Yep, I died.
actually, I'm referring to what comes next. You don't have to stay dead.
Huh. What's the catch?
I mean, you can pass on to whatever awaits you. Even I don't know that. Or you can take power. We always need new lords. Just think, Vivi, you can rule over your own criminal network. Actually, the same for you, Joseph. You'd probably be opposing. Just think, your own city that you run from the shadows.
Fifi looks at Joseph. With his mask off, you can see his one red eye and one white eye just glaring at Joseph, thinking,
Gallows kind of leans back, takes a puff on his cigar, and the smoke, comes out of his rib cage. Like, you can run it together. I can arrange that. It's not unusual for lords to operate in the same domain.
well,
Less common, but not unheard of.
well, in all fairness, criminal enterprises are different but coinciding. So, Joseph, your thoughts?
You can go for it if you want. I'm just pretty much weighing up my options here because it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be a lord, does it?
You can work under me.
You can die a final death.
I am too young and pretty to die. As he smiles and the rotting flesh on one of his heart.
He sets out a sand timer out of nowhere. Just give it a thought. This doesn't last indefinitely, even though just let me know.
I want something better than power. I want knowledge.
Isn't knowledge power? And if you're a lord, you can spend eternity learning everything. Every secret everyone in your town has. Forever and ever.
What's the catch?
No catch. You would get your own domain.
There has to be something that's going to screw us over here. I've seen too much of the dimensions to not.
I can't think of any downsides myself, but you just give it some thought. I'm sure that somebody worse won't come for you before you make a decision. But when this ends, you go away. Even
out of character, I'm not wanting to get the powers of a lord. I'm just wanting to raise up my intelligence and wisdom.
And
he's not making that offer. But Gileth did roll a natural 20, and he has. What is your strength, Gileth?
My strength is an 18.
18. That's enough for you to keep hauling these two with no problem. So you're making your way through the underground. Are you just running as fast as you can, or are you just walking calmly?
Walking calmly.
Okay. I'm going to say that again, just working with your 20, you've got the confidence, you know where you're going. Even the people who live under the city are like, no, he's got two bodies and he's got somewhere to be. We shouldn't mess with him right now.
Yeah.
So like the Were-Rat clans that live down there, they're like, no, we know the sign of someone who's on a place. And plus you're heading to a place they don't go to.
Yeah.
So you make your way in and you can hear it. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since you've seen him.
Yes.
But you recognize the sound of, Dale, I have asked you 5 times to quit eating the scrolls. You might accidentally summon the Tarrasque if you try that again. And I am not going to clean up that mess, mister. I tell you that much. Gileth, you are in front of the door.
Yeah. He would just calmly knock. Simpkins, an old friend, wish to say hello.
Oh, hello, Mittens. Your voice has changed quite a bit. How are you doing? I didn't know you had gone away.
Simpkins, King Jarlath's at the door.
Oh, well, thank you, Mittens. He walks over. King Gileth. Why, I haven't seen you since I poisoned you. I'm so glad you're still alive. And he looks like, and you've brought friends. I'll go get the tea set. And he goes over and he begins to prepare tea.
While he's gathering tea, I will pull up the chairs, lay Joseph down, hold him in a chair, lay Vivi down, and then Giles will take his own chair after that.
And he will begin to pour some tea. Only let me just check something because I like to have fun. Nope, the teapot is not cracked and leaking. He is pouring you a nice steaming cup of tea in a porcelain tea set. I believe I have some cream left over. And he goes over to like the cat's dish where they weren't drinking and offers you some cream. He'll pour it from the dish.
Sure.
Would you like some sugar?
Yes, 2 lumps, please.
And he gets like a big, lump. He's like, just kind of picks it up with his bony hands and drops it in.
Thanks.
So, how have you been?
Gosh, I don't. It's been years, my friend. Man. It's difficult to sum it up, other than just simply chaotic.
That does describe the life of a king. Like I remember when I actually got to work with the kings.
Oh, like kings, like as in plural, multiple.
Oh yes, that was mostly when I was still alive, but there was some time after the incident that I still worked with the king.
Okay.
I remember the last time I saw him. I remember as clearly as day. He was withering away before me as I blasted him with a necrotic ray. It was not exactly how I expected the day to go.
Of course.
Yes, I went in for our weekly meeting and everyone just started screaming, "Abomination, kill it," and started throwing things at me. And I might have overreacted a little bit.
Just slightly, of course. 2 chaotic fiends are having a casual conversation over murder.
Yes.
This is great.
Yes, I was taken off the calendar after that, I'm afraid.
Yes. With it is it's within reason, understandable within their point of view, but you seem to be still in, high spirits, as it appears.
Oh yes, well, I spirits. I have so many. I raise them on a regular basis.
Yes, of course, good one. Anyway, Simpkins, I don't. This is more than just a friendly visit and ways of catch up. I also ask for a favor from you.
Oh yes, whatever I can do for you, my liege.
You will then point to the 2 corpses that have just been flanking him. my 2 friends here, they come across an unfriendly demise upon them, and they have lost their lives. But I tried to preserve their corpses to the best of my ability, and
you would like them raised as skeletons, of course. They will always be loyal companions after that. I'll go get the skinning knife.
Not necessary, but thank you, Simpkins.
He just turned around with a big chip butcher knife. Are you sure about that? It's quite simple.
Listen, if I wanted to skin, I would do the skinning myself. But thank you.
Okay. I don't mean to intrude on a craftsman, and he'll offer you the knife.
Thank you. Adding Simpkins' switchblade to inventory, and is where I know you're not in the way of the traditional sense of resurrection magic, but at least I lack any knowledge of anyone who could know the ways of bringing someone properly from the dead. So if you cannot
that's easy. I have a couple of scrolls available for that. I wrote them about just math. I don't remember when I wrote them, but I must have written them because they're right here. He pulls one out. No, that's summoning the Tarrasque. We got to keep that away from Dale. He puts it on the table in front of you. He pulls out another one.
Last
This
thing
is commune with other powers. Do you want to talk to another power?
no, I'm
Okay, he puts that one
I'm
down.
good with my long distance relationships. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. He sets that one down. He pulls out another one. It's like, here we are. Raised dead. Oh, you want them to be alive?
Alive in the sense that they come back as themselves, even if it's reincarnation. If you have any reincarnations, I could use some of those as well.
Oh, we might have this. This would have brought them back just as they were, but if that's not the one you want, and he sets that one down. He's like, we could bring them back and then change them into something else.
Oh, I'm learning what you're talking about.
I have alter form spells. We'll just leave that. And he puts that on the pile also. And he now believes that you want reincarnation, and he's trying to find that specifically. I suppose I could cast a wish spell and wish one of them back reincarnated. We can just bring the other one back normally, and then maybe next week we can change them into something else. I might have a true polymorph spell around here somewhere. He'll start. it will start to choke on dust. And he goes back to the trunk of spells.
The only reason I can say that
let's
is
see. Revivify, redundancy, redo, another raised dead. This is the duplicating chest, I believe. And yes, just to simplify this process, if you want to make an Arcana check, but raised dead was exactly what you were looking for.
Oh, yeah, let's do an Arcana, because where it's like he just is like raised dead. It's like he thinks like, oh, bring him back as a zombie. So it's. I mean, and my dice confirmed that. I rolled a 5.
Yeah,
it's like we don't want raised dead. They'll come back as zombies.
He's holding him up. Oh, you didn't want a zombie. Oh, then the zombify one is not the right one either. We could raise them as flesh golems and then bind their spirits to the golem.
You have a flesh golem on hand, or is that something we have to find?
Oh, we will need to use their bodies for that.
And he just was like, here's the thing, and he'll just pick up Joe's leg with the showing the maw drawn legs. Like, I don't know if he wants to keep this or not, and I can't exactly ask him if he wants to keep in this body in this condition.
That is a good point. And we could always ask him.
We can do that.
Well, sure. And he will cast a spell, and Joseph, in your little
you get a phone call.
Yeah, basically you hear a ringing sound as a cup with a string on it appears.
You gotta get that, Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the cup and put it to my ear.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm going to speak back. Simpkins, is that you? Oh dear God, what has Giles done?
No, this
Listen,
isn't God. Lord Giles, did you become a god? I was unaware, sir. I did not know I was with royalty.
That would hurt.
You know, at this point in the campaign, I'm amazed that we haven't created enough chaos to become our own chaos gods.
Joseph, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Simpkins.
Okay. I didn't know that Giles was a god. He doesn't seem to be a god of life or death because he can't bring you back. Did you want to keep all of your body parts?
Yes, I want to keep all of my body parts. I want to come back as I am. Vivi, on the other hand, is currently talking with Gallows, so he might have a deal, so you might not have to worry about him. But yes, please bring me back with all of my parts.
Hey, Vivi looks like they can bring us back. Of course, Ray's dead. Ugh.
It's no. You've never met Simpkins.
No, no, I know. No, no, I never met Simpkins, but he like ways to bring him back, and like he quickly racks his brain with spells that could bring people back. And the first one that pops to mind was Ray's dead. Unless you want me to check on that.
I'll have to make sure that Simpkins realizes that you want to come back without a science experiment being done on your body afterwards.
My body's already been through enough.
Simpkins, can you cast Raise Dead on both of us, please? And we don't want to be turned into something else or made into an experiment.
Okay, give me just a moment to write this spell. I will be with you as quickly as possible. In the event that you see any spirit-eating entities, run away as fast as you can. This might take me a moment. And you hear a click as he puts his cup away.
Is it a red Solo cup, by the way?
Well, he was actually using a bowl because it gives better reception.
But I've got the red Solo cup.
Yeah, basically.
I imagine when he hangs up, you see like the cup's there, but you see the string just wither away, so you still have the cup.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so
I can't even use this thing. There's holes at the bottom. I was wanting to fill it with beer, possibly get a keg, do a keg stand.
Sorry if that was metagaming. I just wanted to try and get this along, and also maybe actually is versed in the arcane.
Yeah, it would make sense that Vivi would know.
yeah, and you were given the option. So I'm just pulling up. I don't have my official Simpkins stat block in front of me. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I'm just going to pull up something so I got something to work with. And I feel like, I'm trying to think of how to do this in the most dramatic way. Simpkins is trying his best to, create a new spell based on what you have told him. And it is that you wish to come back as proper mortals, not change species, not change into abominations or constructs. You want to come back. You were both human, correct?
I did say Raise Dead. I did say cast Raise Dead.
Yes, but this is Simpkins, and there was a lot of confusion.
I know.
Vivi is externally, Vivi is human. Internally, there's lots of going on in there.
Okay, we're talking about the physical side of this.
Yeah.
So like you
Vivi's
would prefer to come back as your original race, not risk what happens with the other options.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
As much as I would like to extend the lifespan of the elves, I think we'll stick with human.
Okay. That just means that I'm going to roll some things for him because I just like to keep you guys on your toes. And it's the drama is more fun for me. So he will begin to set some things aside. And basically he starts up a big ritual. He is muttering to himself. He's talking to the cats. Giles, is probably best if you just stay out of the way entirely.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to contribute this,
I'm just going to let Simpkins be Simpkins.
okay. I thought I would throw in one last chance.
If anything, what he'll contribute is make sure that no cats get into the equation.
Okay. So he's cleaning up. He's setting up candles and lighting everything. Yeah, he doesn't get distracted and start reading romance novels. That's good. As he says, I wish for these two to be fully restored to their natural mortal bodies. And you both wake up. And I will say that you both had various scars on your bodies.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep those?
Yeah.
This is your
Like,
option. This
like,
is your
if
chance
it-
to come back completely healed.
If you stay in their natural state, so it would make logical sense for those wording that he would come back as fully formed.
Yep, I'm going to come back fully formed as well, because having burn marks, like as if somebody has boiled your blood from the inside out, is not a great way to pick up anything, be it contracts or
I was actually referring to your metallic limbs or your facial scars.
No, dude, that metallic limb is actually it comes in really handy for drinking games. It's empty, it's hollow, so you can actually fill it with alcohol.
Okay.
Vivi could come back fully healed.
Okay. I'm taking your wishes into account with this roll. So Vivi, you come back completely restored, no scarring. Joseph, you come back with a full human body. Now, when Simpkins notices this, like, oh, you wanted to keep that leg, didn't you? And he takes out a hatchet and he cleaves your leg. And then he takes the Modron leg that had fallen, he jams it right back in place. I want you to make a Constitution save for me.
Vivi bursts out laughing.
Gyleth, you tell him.
So see, 1 + 1
Equal 2.
With their powers combined, we created 2.
Joseph, you've been through a lot of personal suffering. This happens so quick that you don't even have time to scream as your mind just shuts down. Somewhere you're floating in space, like you're having an out-of-body experience because your body just can't. So you're off in Netherland. Simpkins is like, I'll hang on to this, and puts the leg away. He's got like a chest that he puts it in and puts a lock on it, and then writes on Joseph's leg.
I would laugh if it starts kicking in the inside.
Down,
boy, down.
No, Vivi's actually laughing through all this, that he realizes that he's not feeling wind go through his cheek. Like, what? Vivi takes off it.
And he goes over to look at Joseph's like, oh, I think I killed him again. Let me just try. And he takes the butcher's knife again. We'll have to start all over.
No. Like, I think he just passed out from the pain.
Are you sure? Have you passed out from the pain?
Meanwhile, Joseph,
maybe we should take his head off just to be sure. We can regrow the rest of his body from that.
Now I'm just imagining
the butcher knife?
No. As much as it'd be fun to have a future armor head in the jar, no.
Oh, I could put his head on his staff and it can talk to you. I have one of those around here.
Like,
and he
can I
gets
cast
distracted.
Can I cast Shillelagh on it?
Well,
really? That's a point of negotiation.
I mean, technically, I guess you could. It is what someone, a student made it, and somehow I wound up with it. It's called and he takes out a staff with a head on it. This is called the Staff of Concentration. I am called the Staff of Concentration. He can help you to concentrate. I can help you. Would you let me talk? No, this is my introduction. I will do it. Like, all right. I am the Staff of Concentration. I help you to concentrate on spells by thinking about them so you don't have to.
TV actually thinks like, I wouldn't mind that. It's like,
Yes, I don't remember why I came across him because you were handed a lot of artifacts, and I just happened to be one of them. They said it was too dangerous to let out into the world. Oh, that's right. He puts it back into the closet.
Question. Self concentration. Can I cast Shillelagh on you?
Yes, I believe that you could. I don't recommend hitting me with things, but I can't stop you from doing that.
Can I have that?
Well, I suppose that you can. I will be needing some favors from you for the whole resurrection thing anyway. I'll just add this to the tab. And he hands you the Staff of Concentration. What this does is when you attune to it, it will let you concentrate on 2 spells at once.
Like VV grin, like Archie's and VV grin at the same time with this.
And I'm grinning too, because it never shuts up.
Like VV also makes a mental note to get a ball gag.
Let me be very clear about this. You cannot shut this thing up.
Yeah.
It has a mind of its own, and there is, in short of a silence spell, you cannot stop it from talking.
This is where one of the spells I concentrate on is silence.
But then you can't cast spells.
Ah, good point.
So you have it, you can attune to it. I will those are really the only stats it has. It's a quarterstaff that can be a magical focus, and it will talk whenever it feels like.
In all fairness, this is good. This gives me a bit more fun to play with my spell list, and it also gives you a bit of fun to play with me.
Yep, I have waited for 3 years for someone to pick up the Staff of Concentration.
Yeah, I will. I will to it. Also, don't cut off his head, please. That would be inconvenient to us.
He had the butcher knife up ready. Like, oh, okay. Would you like to change out any of his other parts then? He can't really answer for himself, but we can change out some of the other limbs. I think I have
backhands.
I have the arm of a hook horror around here, and he starts looking.
No. Like, I think he's done enough modifications.
There will be
also,
no stopping him from looking. I would recommend, because you don't know Simpkins as well. Your best bet is just to sneak out while he's distracted.
Vivi, also, I don't feel wind going through my cheek. Jareth, check my face, will you?
Jareth has like an armful of like 7 cats, and just like, you go here and you go here. No, you've had enough for Din Din. You go here.
Jareth, is there anything on my face? And you,
yes, nose, 2 eyes, and you go here. Get down from there. Get down from there. You listen. We've had a discussion before. Hey, baby, as we said before,
and as you look, you see Vivi without his mask and without the scars, and he is almost awe-inspiringly handsome.
There's a pause for a moment.
And then hello?
Puts the cat down.
Joseph, you can make another Constitution save to see if you wake up. I think your spirit is like in the room watching all this.
Oh, look, a 5 + 1.
Okay, your spirit is in the room, but it does not want to go back into the body.
I'm just going. My spirit is just wandering around, just looking for a deck of cards, because at this point it's just like
one of the cats is like sitting on the table, just staring at you.
I'm going to stroke it behind its ear.
Yeah, it accepts the scritches, and then it starts batting at the pile of scrolls that Simpkins left on the table.
I'm going to look through.
He's gonna walk up, look at the leg, and try and cast Cure Wounds to basically help numb the pain and hopefully bring him back.
with that roll, he's going to be out for a while. You are welcome to just take him and leave because this is Simpkins, and I can do 2 hours stand up with Simpkins. He goes nowhere.
Jyleth, put down the cats and pick up the Joseph.
Okay. He just grabs him and fling him over his shoulder.
Puts back on his mask.
And
Joseph, you can feel the tether to your body. It doesn't pull you away right away. If you want to do anything in Simpkins' lab in ghost form.
I just used Arcana at a 9 to try and figure out, just to pull a random scroll away for the cat.
And you rolled a 9?
Yep.
You have one random scroll.
Woohoo.
I will decide which one later.
Some of the Thrask.
I'm just going to wink at the kitty and give him one last scritch over the ear and go, yeah, you just have fun.
Your cat just meows as you feel the tug and have to follow your body.
I'm going to be walking behind the group now, just in spirit form, just pretty much like, oh, they can't hear me. Great. This is going to be like every other day.
And with that, you your small fortune of gold, which they did not retrieve from the dead people, because Giles technically owned everything on them. You will be able to find an inn, and we will let the session end here for today. Wow, we got into more world lore than I thought we were going to. I love when just a random thing that I read online generates such a fun episode, because this was inspired by a clip from Brandon Mulligan from Dimension 20, who was talking about how if you award combat experience only, then students of Arcana have to just go out and slaughter everything to get better. I decided to interpret that as a real world mechanic now.
Oh yeah.
And you also know that there's some sketchy stuff going on in this city. That's up to you to play with later on. Yes. We are going to wrap up here today. I want to thank you so much for everyone who came to lurk and chat. We love you. It feeds my actor soul to perform in front of people again. And yes, I miss that so much. Who am I? That's a good question. Who are any of us really? I'm Andy. Thank you for asking. I am Wart Films everywhere on the internet. Lately, you can find me over on the TikTok app because I've been taking place in the NPC wars, and I'm making a lot of stupid stuff there because it just lets me churn things out very quickly. And I got some other things happening. I hope to come up soon. So follow me over on Twitter, where I tell you what I'm doing. Who are you, Jesse?
Hi, and full name is Jesse Crown, but also known as Crump64. You can find me on all levels of the internet in the forms of Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. They're all of T's, or just hit me under the name of Crump64. That's where I post my various levels of nonsense in terms of Dungeons and Dragons. I am a dungeon master for a group called themselves the Lovely Lady Crumps. It is an all-female cast. We live broadcast on our Twitch channel /Crump64 almost every Sunday. We are now about to exit the ways of Ravnica, and I'm willing to say this now because it has been a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, we do have a character death, but that means we now have character introduction. So you're not going to want to miss that. So hope to see you guys all there.
I'm Kyle. Can be found on Twitch and Twitter at FlintEwid756, and yeah, I'm pretty much just wondering what next game is going to bring us, because yeah, at this point I'm wondering how we're not becoming Chaos Gods.
I mean, I literally gave you that option with becoming a Dark Lord, but
because we're only level 7, we're not there yet.
We didn't take that because he thought it was too easy. Easy things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What about you, Richard? Where can we find you?
Hi. As everyone's Carl just revealed, my name is Richard. Also known as Officer Treff. You can find me on Twitter at Officer Treff or at braincell_dead. You can also find me on Discord, where I'm various groups. Or you can just pop by for a chat. I don't bite unless you're into that sort of thing. And you can find me on YouTube at some point in the future once I've got everything sorted.
One last plug for me, because I forgot. This Thursday is the final episode of A Romp Through Ravnica. That is the game I've been playing with We Are Nerdsmith here on Twitch. Last session, I was wrongfully accused of betraying the party when I tried to help our enemies get away. So next session, the party is going to have to quickly learn to trust me again, as we've all been switched bodies and we will be given the character sheets of another player. Even that one was a shock to me, and I run this every 2 weeks. So please join us there. If you like what we do and you want to help us out in any way, the links below are various ways you can support us, from buying my energy, Be the Beast, to supporting us through buying trick rolls directly for a player over on Ko-Fi. We want to thank you again so much, because this is always a blast. I look forward to these games so much, even though I don't know what I'm going to do. And I find that the less I prepare, the more fun we have and the less stress I put under myself. So again, thank you so much, everyone. And we will see you next time.